home shopping tips or home expense management tips, and I'm basically going to share what has worked for me over the years, or what has worked for some of the friends that I shared with. And I'll start with how we manage our house helpers, because before I go to the expenses, I think it starts with our house helpers. Do they know what we expect from them, or do we even know what we expect from them, or do we know what we expect from ourselves before we even talk or have a discussion with them? So I think the starting point is to understand what your income levels are, what you're willing to spend at home, or what are your needs at home, what kind of food you eat at home, what kind of laundry items do you use at home, because they vary in terms of value, or in terms of types, and what works for you. I mean, because I wouldn't want to say that use the cheaper ones or use the most expensive, because some people have skin issues, so it depends on what they use, and they will use probably the cheaper item and it works for them. So I think it's first understanding what your home actually needs in terms of foodstuffs, in terms of laundry items, in terms of luxuries. Then you're able to lay out the whole budget at once. So once you understand that, then you can lay out a budget and say, in a week, this is what I need. In a month, this is what I need. In a quarter, this is what I need. And then you decide, how do I shop this? You could go weekly shopping, or you could go monthly, or you could go quarterly. But I always prefer monthly for most of the items, and then quarterly for the few items, and then weekly for the perishables. Guys, like, do not shop weekly for items that are not going to perish. Why are you shopping washing soap every week, for example? Or why are you shopping rice every week, for example? So you categorize those in the way I've said it: weekly, monthly, quarterly. And then once you're done with that, then you can have a discussion with your house helpers and children. Actually, you can come up with that with them. You tell them, list for me what you think we can buy weekly, list for me what you think we can buy monthly. Let them help you come up with them, or involve them so that they will understand where you're coming from once it's implemented. Because when they are not involved, most times they won't even understand it. They'll be like, auntie's saying this and this, or mommy is saying this and this. Like, what does she mean? Me, I'm just using soap. And they won't understand why they have to manage the expenses at home. So you sit with them, involve them, and let them understand where you're coming from, where you're going, and why they need to budget, or why they need to cut down their costs. For example, if you mention like don't leave tap water running if you're not using it, let them understand why you're saying so. Don't just say, why are you making the running water, sorry, why are you leaving the tap open? Let them understand that it's an expense and it impacts on everything at home. It impacts on their school fees. Then you're not able to pay their fees because then you're spending money paying extra water they used. Or let them understand that if you're not using a room, switch off the lights, for example. I know that sounds like for people who have aged, like we normally say adulting is a scam or is a trap. I mean, when you're young, you don't understand why you have to switch off the lights, but let them understand. And so once they're involved and they know what mommy is going to, or daddy is going to shop things weekly, then they don't expect to stress you, or they will try and manage the expenses within that week, and they know they have to take a week before asking for the other things. And they will also learn to manage the expenses as they grow, because now they know why this has to be done a certain way. So I thought today we could just work on the preparation before we go into the detail of how do I do weekly shopping, or how do I do monthly, and what goes into the weekly, what goes into the monthly. So for now, let's prepare ourselves. Let's have discussions with our children. They're in holidays, involve them, let them understand that the economy is so bad, first of all. Like, we are bleeding, but we won't die, because we have to learn. Every time we bleed, we learn something out of it. So involve them this month. Actually, I'll leave a homework for all of us, especially our children and house helpers. Give them homework this week. Tell them, I want you to sit down, list everything we consume in this home, and then categorize them accordingly. What do you think we can buy weekly? What do you think we can buy every day? What do you think we can buy monthly? And let them present it to you, let's say over the weekend when you're free, so they buy into the idea. And when you're done with that, then we shall talk about the details of the real shopping, or what needs to be shopped and from where.